Good morning. It's Wednesday, September 5th. It's day 2 of my orientation week at the MOT MBA at SFU BD. I wanted to take the day and time to reflect on what happened yesterday. I had a great day meeting my new teammates, meeting my new class, as well as the profs, as well as some of the administration staff at the SFU BD downtown campus. Really had a fantastic morning and afternoon learning a bit about what the focus will be over the next 2 years and really what BD stands for. When you think about the values of responsible business leaders, with a global perspective, and in that search with being innovative, it really speaks to me of what I want to become over the next 2 years. They challenged us to think about walking the walk of being innovative, being socially responsible, and what does that mean to us, and how are we going to put that into our work at BD? How are we going to put that into play when we are, at work in our jobs? And it made me really think about what I can do better and how I can bring forward what I learned into my job. And as a leader, I think it's the responsibility to change others as you change yourself. So as I change throughout the program and learn, I want to be able to take my learnings and use it and influence and motivate those in my corporation today at RBC. Whether it's through being more empathetic, being a better effective communicator, being more influential by structuring a more effective way of design. But the other thing we learned about today in our class, in the leadership class, in starting out, is we had a lot of discussion about what is leadership and what is not leadership, as well as managing versus leading. And I took the time to kind of sit back and watch not only my small team that I'm now a part of, but also my entire class. And what I realized is that everyone has a different view on leadership. And there's no really right or wrong answer of what everyone kind of thinks a great leader is, because there's different qualities and attributes that make up a great leader, such as empathy, being able to delegate, leads by example, is supportive, they're humble, they're a risk taker, they're brave, they have integrity, they're a coacher, they're a continuous learner. But then we learned about challenging the status quo, and it made me think that just because someone is a leader, do I see them as a leader because of who they are in society? For instance, we learned that different leaders come in all shapes and sizes. For instance, a leader of the gang Hell's Angels, he's a leader, but do I think he's a leader personally? No, because it's kind of not for the good of society. So while I don't support that, others might. So we can't be biased in who we think leaders are and who aren't. But when we really got into the discussion around managing versus leading, I think we all kind of came to a common ground that leading is more about focusing on the person, being empathetic, versus managing, which is about administration, structure, deadlines, corporate focus. And leading is about process and execution. I really believe in execution and process. And what I want to really take away from that first session is, how do I think about when to manage and when to lead? Because I think there is a combination approach here, in that you have to be a leader, but you still have to know how to manage. And when we think about the differences, I think there's too many people that get put into a leadership management role because they were a good salesperson or they checked off the list. Leading is not about checking boxes. It's about understanding when to apply, understanding the full picture, being able to tell a story effectively to get your team to want to buy into what you want them to achieve. So I look forward to day 2 and learning a bit more how my team as well as our class can dissect what the differences are between leading and managing. Really great first day, but to me, leadership is, I think, fundamentally about execution and being able to effectively communicate and focus on the person, and knowing that if you're leading a team, your team is made up by individuals, and every individual in that team is different. So you can't have a cookie cutter approach, and you have to understand the players in your team. One person might want to be more empathetic with you, and one person might just like structure and straightforward to the point style approach. So I think it's taking that time to fully understand who is it on your team, and then kind of being a bit of a chameleon as you go. So really liked what I learned. Can't wait for day 2, and look forward to my reflection video tomorrow morning. Let's go day 2.